shot. Cooper caught it somehow.
Cowboys OT is brought to you by GEICO. 85 years of savings and service. Sleep Number, the Sleep Number 360 smart bed, helps everyone from parents to pros improve their performance through quality sleep. Only at a Sleep Number store. And NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
It has been 21 years since the Dallas Cowboys have delivered a beatdown like they did this afternoon against the Atlanta Falcons, 43-3 at AT&T Stadium. Week 10 of the NFL season was picture perfect for the Cowboys as they improved to 7-2 on the 2021 campaign. Welcome into the Star in Frisco in the Globe Life Studios. This is Cowboys OT. Alongside Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback, I'm Kyle Yeomans. We'll be here for the next hour breaking down exactly what happened in Arlington. And I think the Atlanta Falcons are still trying to figure out exactly what happened. Shell-shocked after the Cowboys put up 36 first-half points in the win. Isaiah, this is about as complete of a win as the Cowboys have ever had. Forget this season alone.
Yeah, I think they got hit in the mouth like Chris Tucker in Rush Hour. He said, which one of y'all hit me? The Cowboys did a great job of showing up in every facet of the game, all three sections of the game, offense, defense, special teams. It's felt like the Cowboys in the first 6 games where guys just did not want to miss out on the opportunity to make plays. You know, your boy makes a play, guess what? Okay, you got that. Okay, let me show you how I do it. And that's when you have that going on, that competitiveness within the team to make plays, this is the result.
I needed to see the offensive line come back and do their thing. I needed to see the defensive line stop the run. Both units did a super job today in making sure they handled their business so these skilled guys can take off.
Yeah, this was a pure shellacking, all right? I mean, offensively, Dak Prescott got the rust knocked off of him. He was able to get that chemistry, that timing back with these receivers, as we saw CeeDee Lamb, Cooper, and Michael Gallup came to play as well. So he was hitting those guys on all cylinders and defensively. And nobody knew where the pressure was going to come from, but this was a great example of how rush and cover work together. Matt Ryan didn't have nobody to throw it to back there. The defensive line took advantage of those extra ticks and got back there, got after him. Hotz goes off to this defensive end, or this defensive team, and the team as a whole. It was a good victory.
I think whenever this season comes to a close, no matter what happens, you're going to go back and circle Week 9 and Week 10 for a complete turnaround and a learning opportunity, flip-flopping what happened last week. Let's see how this one unfolded from AT&T Stadium. It started on the opening drive. CeeDee Lamb really set the tone early on. This grab on 2nd and 7 for 37 yards had the Cowboys deep in the Falcons' territory early on, and he followed it up with a nice little encore. Couple plays later, 13 yards to the left of the end zone on the touchdown grab. CeeDee Lamb was all over the place early.
Yeah, CeeDee Lamb was just simply destroying anybody that stepped up to him. You see him swerving on everybody right there. He's running the routes like crazy. Great ball by Dak Prescott. Great protection. Great play, touchdown.
4th Cowboys player with 10 receiving touchdowns in his first 25 games. Des Bryant, Terrence Williams, Bob Hayes. This guy knows how to find the end zone. Ezekiel Elliott did it in the second quarter. Dallas offensive line really played well through the back into the first, into the second. Then after that, 4th down and 23 later, after another defensive stop, Dak Prescott had to roll out, and he found Michael Gallup on the edge. A little toe drag swag. Michael Gallup in his first game back after suffering a calf strain in Week 1 of the NFL season. A couple plays later, Zeke punches it into the end zone. He had not scored since Week 5 of the season. He scored twice in the first half of this one. And if you thought the Cowboys were done in the first half with that one, think again. Dak, under pressure, lobs it in the back of the end zone for CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, obviously they brought a little blitz, and that boy Dak sat back there, threw a nice little alley-oop. CeeDee Lamb with a nice route on a corner route just simply destroys 35. Don't know who he is, but it doesn't matter. That's a touchdown right there for the Cowboys.
That was such a magical throw because both guys on the same page. And if you thought they were done then, think again, because Dorrance Armstrong comes flying in, knocks the ball away on the punt block, and Nashawn Wright recovers it in the end zone for a touchdown. It was like it was meant to be.
Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys leading the league in punt blocks. They do a great job of providing pressure here. They put a lot of stress on a personal protector. Dorrance Armstrong, great job, playing on half the man, gets a hand in there, gets a block. touchdown, Cowboys.
Dallas led 36-3 at halftime, the largest halftime lead for the Cowboys organization since 1971. That's 774 games. Matt Ryan tried to answer in the second half. No go. Trayvon Diggs has his 8th interception of the season in just 9 games. He wasn't alone. Anthony Brown had an interception. Jordan Lewis had an interception in the fourth quarter. 3 picks in the second half for the Cowboys defense, and then Dak Prescott with the exclamation point, bounds his way into the end zone, bows up, and you see your leader, big QB1 wearing the number 4, and he had the flex on the Atlanta Falcons late. A 40-burger for the Cowboys, not only in the scoreboard, but also in point differential, and it's all smiles for the Cowboys on the sideline. 43-3, the final score, and they got to rest a couple different guys in that second half. A crucial win for the Cowboys, rebounding from that Week 9 loss, and they are looking ahead 7-2 and in first place in the NFC East. When we come back here on Cowboys OT, we look at just how important this was of a turnaround for the Cowboys and what they could do to make sure that moves forward into the season.
This segment is brought to you by Ashley HOMESTORE, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
43-3, the final score. The Cowboys over the Falcons, a 40-point win for Dallas in Week 10. And they didn't do it with the most incredible stat line you've ever seen. 3 takeaways all coming in the second half. Certainly nice. Third down conversion percentage for the defense. Always going to be happy with a 1 for an 11 look. And then holding the Falcons underneath 215 total yards. It was an impressive win all the way around for the Cowboys. Back here with Barry Church and Nate Newton from the Star in Frisco. You both have been a part of wins like this and wins not so much like this as well. But how much of a difference does this make, having this under your belt and the confidence going into what is a really tough stretch for the Cowboys?
Yeah, I think this was an important victory for the Cowboys because it could have went two ways. If they would have came out here and laid another stinker, that's back-to-back games they had lost against teams that they should have dominated. And it could have a snowball effect that way. But they came out here, they responded well. They went out there and dominated a team that they were supposed to dominate. And one of the biggest factors in this game, in which we didn't do last week, was we won time of possession. We won the time of possession, gave our defense an opportunity to rest, and when they rest, they come out fast and furious, and they were able to take the ball away 3 times. Dak and his offense was able to capitalize on that, scoring points, and we got back to our scoring ways. So overall, this was a great victory for this team.
You know, third down possession is big for us, man. I think it was right at 50% or over. And then with the time possession, like Barry said, that's what we need because we're a team that likes to get a lead and let our defense play with the other team as far as the pass rush and all that right there. We did a great job of stopping the run. But we needed to win this game more than anything because we're going to face other high-powered offenses going into this game, be it Kansas City, be it the Las Vegas Raiders. And so we need to be ready. We need to be on time and in rhythm. And Dak had a great game today.
Yes, he did. And he really set the tone early on. It kind of provided the groundwork, the foundation for that offense to really take the next step after putting last week in the rearview mirror. What did you think about how the offense looked? And really, it was crisp early on. It
was extremely crisp. It was extremely efficient out there. Dak was able to get the ball to his playmakers and let them do what they do best, and that's make plays in space. As we see CeeDee Lamb right there marching down the field, he was able to do that the entire game. I think the ball placement by Dak was extremely good. He kept great care of the ball out there, and Kellen Moore once again got into his bag and was able to get these playmakers the ball in space. So overall, it was a great bounce-back game for this team. Offensive line played a lot better than they did against the Broncos, and that gave us the ability to kind of pick our poison on this defense and improve dividends for this team overall.
I agree 100%. When you are a two-way offense, that means you can run at will or you can throw at will. That keeps the other team not knowing whether to bring a safety down to stop the run game or to keep one back to stop the passing game. As you see number 88 there, when he's on fire, something about the 88s, man, I'm beginning to like, especially this young one here, man. When they're on fire, they're a super team.
Yeah, he had that really good opening drive, and from then on out, CeeDee Lamb, it seemed like it was contagious. Yes. He ended up in the game 6 of 94 with 2 touchdowns and didn't play a lot of the second half. He may have had a little bit of a banged-up shoulder late in that football game. Let's take a look at some of the stats offensively. Dak Prescott back on track, specifically 24 of 31 passing, 296 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kellen Moore really just put him in a spot to be successful.
He did. He put him in a great spot. He got the ball out of his hands quick. I mean, last week we saw out there he was holding the ball a little bit long, and he didn't have to have his options out there getting open as quick as they did in previous games. And then we had Dak out there doing his work and getting efficient with the football. So Kellen Moore, hats goes off to you. You called an amazing game.
And so did Dan Quinn, going up against his former team, formerly the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons. And I think he had a bit of a chip on the shoulder heading into this one. Holds Atlanta to 3 points. Matt Ryan, 9 of 21 for just 117 through the air. Had two interceptions. Rosen had the third one. What did you think about the defense and how they played, Barry?
I was extremely impressed with this defense. I mean, we know last week going into here, we didn't get pressure on Teddy Two Gloves out there, and he was able to pick apart this defense. And we didn't know, without Randy Gregory, without Tank, how are we going to provide a pressure on Matt Ryan? Well, they went out there, rush and cover, played well together. They locked down the guys in the back end. Defensive line was able to get in there, get pressure on Matt Ryan, throw him off of his game. And when you could do that, you can frustrate guys into 3 interceptions out there. That's what our defense did. Hats goes off to those boys. They played a heck of a game.
I just love when our defense go out, man, and stop the run and make a team one-dimensional. And then by that time, they had to throw the ball. So we know we had a great pass rush going, and we got out them pretty good there. So I like what Dan Quinn did. I like what our offense did in getting the lead. I like what our defense did in helping them maintain that lead.
There were 18 different defenders for Dallas that registered a tackle in that game today. Now, Micah Parsons also had a sack. You had Dorrance Armstrong with a sack. There's not going to be any Randy Gregory or DeMarcus Lawrence going into the next couple of weeks. Can they continue this as we take a look at some of the final stats?
Yeah, if they're able to cover like that in the back end, and you got a guy like Parsons who you can move around, defensive end, defensive tackle, blitz him from the linebacker position, you're going to be able to generate pass rush out there. So hopefully they're able to find different ways for him to affect the passer. We got Dorrance Armstrong stepping up as well. If we can do that, we can hold water until Tank and Randy Gregory get back and provide a more constant pass rush.
And I'm going to go just a little bit shaky on the other side. If you go with our offensive line, if they play well like they did, and we can maintain 32 minutes of time of possession, that will give our defense a chance to rest and make big plays.
It's the definition of complementary football. Today it was back for the Cowboys. We had seen it a couple different times. They were talking on the network broadcast of this isn't the first time you've seen the Cowboys dominate this way, but it's the first time you've seen a 40-point win for the Cowboys since 2000. The last time they did that was against the Arizona Cardinals in the year 2000, 21 years ago. When we come back, we break down exactly how the Cowboys achieved that 40-point win. Isaiah Stanback hits the film when we return with more Cowboys OT.
This segment was brought to you by Ashley HOMESTORE, the official furniture store of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back here with more Cowboys OT after an emphatic win for the Dallas Cowboys over the Atlanta Falcons. Back here with former Super Bowl champion and Dallas Cowboy Isaiah Stanback. No better person to break down a win like this than you. And there were 3 areas of this game where the Cowboys succeeded. That was offense, that was defense, and guess what? It was special teams. It was complementary football again. Let's start defensively. Jordan Lewis had some matchups that, at least on paper, looked stacked against him, but he stepped up and had a fantastic day.
Yeah, as we stepped into this game, we knew there was a couple guys that we needed to eliminate. We needed to eliminate Cordero Patterson, and we needed to take out, obviously, Mr. Pitts, okay, their tight end, their first-round draft pick. And we did a great job of that. We also needed to try to get some pressure. It's hard to establish pressure playing zone, so we needed to be able to have our personnel match up against theirs man-to-man. As you guys see right here is a perfect example of it. We got man-to-man head up right here on the point of the ball. These 2 defenders right here are going to be playing in and out depending on which guy comes out. They felt pretty good about that. So where's the help? The help is back here with KZ and right here man-to-man with J. Lou versus Pitts. Now, he knows that this is man-to-man coverage. Obviously, that's the call. He is going to keep his eyes right here on Matty Ice. He wasn't so icy today, a little lukewarm, okay? But he kept his eyes on him the entire time. He's going to sit on that inside edge, all right, the inside edge of him as he goes out here. Let's go ahead and play it real quick. Perfect, right there, pause it right there. The entire time he's running the route, he has his eyes on Matt Ryan. His eyes are looking back here the entire time. He sees exactly what's going on. And as he delivers this ball, he's able to undercut the route, do a great job right here, get his hand in there, knock it away, using the sideline to his advantage because that is the boundary. Great job playing man-to-man defense against one of the league's most dangerous tight ends and young tight ends at that.
It's so tough to do that against guys like Kyle Pitts who are known for a little added separation. Now, another guy for the Cowboys that has some separation, that's C.D. Lamb. And this time it paid off for Dak Prescott.
Yeah, absolutely. And it all starts with Dak. Dak right here, he sees everything right here. This man right here, he is exactly what you need at the quarterback position. This is called cover zero. And it's high alert because you come out and as a quarterback, you're looking at the safeties. Where are the safeties at? Where there are really no safeties. These guys are playing off coverage. He's playing man-to-man, and he's walking up. And everything else is locked up here. So what is it? What can you do here? There's 5 guys that you have here at the offensive line position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're not going to be able to block everybody who's coming at you. So right off the bat, the route concept here is called a nice little double under with a corner route. He has to set the inside leverage right here, work back outside, take it toward a corner route, and right here you're going to have guys coming underneath coverage here, which is going to allow for you to have man-to-man coverage and a man-to-man route right here with CeeDee Lamb. He does a great job right there, again, setting that inside ledge. He reestablishes his vertical stem. Run it back for me one more time. As you guys see here, it's very important on this route, okay? He knows that these 2 guys are going to have to bite down on these coverages. It's going to leave this entire window. So he has to win the route immediately right here at the line of scrimmage. He's going to set them. Boom, perfect. He bites inside. Now he's going to reestablish the stem, re-straighten them back up, take it to the corner. Now he has the entire corner out here to win. Dak does a great job. He knows he's not going to be protected. He knows where his receiver is going to be, throws it up there, nice little alley-oop, slam dunk for CD.
It was a slam dunk for him, and then Parsons had a slam dunk sack that really it looked like this was just a cherry on top for a defense that had already been playing exceptionally well.
Yeah, number 11 came out here. He knew that we needed pressure. We don't have Greger. We don't have D-Law. So he said, guess what? I need to be the sticky icky today on the defensive line. He does a great job here simply destroying him. It's called beating him with speed. Over and over again, he rushed up the field, up the field, up the field, up the field. What that's going to do is it's going to set this offensive tackle where he's going to want to jump outside. His natural instinct now is to get outside and protect on this edge. Well, guess what? Michael Parsons knows that, so he uses it against him. So right here, right after the snap of the ball, boom, he sets him, boom, right there. Run it back for me one more time. He takes a hard step up the field, sets his offensive tackle, gets him to overset, comes back underneath, gets the big play on Matty Ice right here. My fault, Matty lukewarm. And right there, he does a great job. Strip sack. We don't get the ball on this one, but great job here. That dude right there is an absolute problem. He now has, 6 sacks, all right, and I think over 18 pressures. He's balling out. He is doing a great job filling in for our bookends that are missing right now.
Leads all rookies in quarterback hits, quarterback pressures, and he's had 4.5 sacks in the last 2 games, or 3.5 sacks. But still, it has been quite the couple of weeks for Micah Parsons. We're going to hear from him coming up later in the show. But when we come back, let's first hear from his defensive coordinator. Was this a revenge game for Dan Quinn? Well, he made it personal with a fantastic outing from his defense. Rolling along here on this edition of Cowboys OT. Kyle Yeoman's back with you following a 43-3 win for the Dallas Cowboys over the Atlanta Falcons. It's the first time the Cowboys have not allowed at least 10-point scoring for an opposing offense since the Cincinnati game in 2020 last season, and that was a 30-7 win. This one, a 40-point win for the Cowboys. And let's hear from Dan Quinn, exclusive audio after he beats his former team as the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys.
Oh, I know you said that, it's not, you didn't want to get into talking about Falcons or whatever, but more than anything, you wanted to get this defense turned around. Can you just talk about how
I think we just wanted to capture, our style and our identity. So when you don't have it, you really notice it. And so I thought, leaving the Minnesota game, our style was, attack how we like it. And so when we have one that you don't, it shows up. And so that's really what we challenged one another on. Let's make sure we capture our style and our attitude and how we play. And I thought the players, they did a fantastic job of that. It was definitely complimentary football, all the way through tonight.
Big setback, obviously, losing Randy. You've been playing without Tank. Now you lose Randy to the game. What were you guys able to do? Do you like the way Doran stepped up, Micah moved around, bashed up all those guys?
Yeah, and that's the good news about when you have a deep roster. And, the guys here have done a good job. And so we trust the players, when their moment comes and they can deliver. And I think DA was a good example of that today, not just on defense, but on special teams as well. And so we've played, maybe 30, I think with Tristan now, probably 32 guys so far this season. So that's a big amount to play, but it pays dividends in moments like now where you've got the experience and you're ready to go. And don't get me wrong, we miss Randy and Tank like crazy, but it's important to know that we keep on rolling.
When Randy was a guy that you've been running him or all through the line, standing up across the center, all that stuff, that's where Dorrance got a sack today too. So I mean, it was one of those things where he kind of filled that role, so to speak.
Yeah, some of the spots where we utilize different guys, Micah and Randy and all of them. So yeah, we miss them like crazy. And the good news is they're going to be back. And the other guys that are playing are gaining experience because to play at our best, we're going to need everybody. And so I thought it was a good job by guys stepping up and making plays today.
Cornerbacks are not supposed to have great hands. Your guys are off the turf, off their head. All three of your corners that made picks today were big-time plays on the ball. I mean, you can speak
well,
to
I think,
that.
yeah, between Al and Joe and the corners and the safeties, they work extremely hard at ball drill. So we see it in practice. They're doing it before, they're doing it after. So we make it such a premium. But I think from the secondary and from Joe and Al, like, they really emphasize it. And you see it in practice, so it's good to see coming in from practice into the game.
Speaking of Atlanta, what are some of the things as a coordinator, you know, that used to be your quarterback, your guys over there, what are some of the things that you could see on tape that maybe helped you?
Yeah, not as much as you think. You may know a style of a player, but they're new on all three phases. So you may struggle with one thing, but that wasn't really the case here. They've got some really talented guys, and the way they're featuring players make it super challenging, with Pitts and Patterson and the way they can use guys in different spots. That always is challenging.
Now that it's over, how big was this personally for you to face those guys? You know, a lot of guys over there, like equipment guys, trainers, and all that stuff. What did it mean?
Well, I'd say there's a lot of people that I care about a lot, and so good to have that game done and over with. But more than anything, when you, like any team that, there's a lot of friends that you have and you go battle and play, and so it's kind of the fun part of the NFL. There's always good rivalries in between coaches and players, but there's a lot of guys on that roster and in the building that I certainly care about a lot.
All right, one more. We said last week, that's not what this team is. We think they're different than that. Is this what this team is and what they can be?
You don't really get to until you get back in the environment. You can talk about it, but you got to be about it. And so you don't really get to show that, okay, it wasn't how we want to do, but when you got to get back in that moment to do that. And so we took a good step today, and we're going to continue to push to improve. And that's really, as you keep going on, you want to get better and better with your execution. I thought we took a step in that direction today.
And now you just got to get ready for Mahomes.
Yeah, well, we'll worry about that in a few hours.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
Well, Dan Quinn's defense was all about it in this one. 3 points allowed against Atlanta. And a couple moments after this, Dan Quinn went back into that locker room and actually got the game ball, or maybe before this. I don't really know whenever that exchange happened. But he got the game ball from Mike McCarthy. The entire locker room went into hysterics. It was a great moment for Dan Quinn. But I think it's an even better moment because now you get a chance to build off of this. You've got a tough stretch. Kansas City, followed by Las Vegas, and then you've got New Orleans on the road. This is not going to get any easier for the Cowboys moving forward.
Yeah, it's not going to get any easier for the Cowboys because, like you mentioned, you got Mahomes and that Kansas City team who's starting to rev up their engine a little bit offensively. Then you got Derek Carr and the Raiders out there. But hats goes off to this defensive team for this victory today. I mean, it just goes to show you how deep this team really is. I mean, you're minus Tank, you're minus Gregory out there. Then you got guys like Dorrance Armstrong, Terrell Basham stepping up. Odigizua did some damage out there today. So it just goes to show you how deep this defense is. And in the secondary, I got to give a shout out to Joe Witt and Al Harris as well because they're making this secondary, they're ball hungry out there. I mean, they're taking pages out of Diggs' book. Brown got him one today. Jay Lou got him one as well. So the secondary is firing on all cylinders, and hats goes off to that defense. They had a heck of a game today.
I just like how Coach came at the beginning of the week, Coach Quinn and Coach McCarthy. They came out not playing around, and it's a standard that they want to set here, and they got back to that standard, rotating guys in, knowing your job, doing what you're supposed to do, being held accountable to one another, and then when you play Atlanta, a team that you're supposed to beat, your coach get the game ball.
There it is.
He did get the game ball, and he loved it. I mean, he was all smiles in the locker room following it, and, I mean, for good reason. His defense giving up just 3 points and 3 interceptions as well for his defense, all coming in the second half. First time the Cowboys have had 3 picks as a team going all the way back to 2010. It's been a while since you've seen a game like that as well. When we come back, we hear from the tone setter, C.D. Lamb, with more Cowboys OT. C.D. Lamb with 2 touchdown receptions in the 43-3 win over Atlanta. He becomes just the 4th player in Cowboys history to have 10 receiving touchdowns in his first 25 career games. Let's hear from C.D. Lamb after the win.
Can you talk about how the team responded today coming out of that game last week? I feel like we dominated today, played the way we know how to play. We preached, just stay the course, stay, just handle your business, win your one individual matchup, and that we did today.
How much fun was it for you today? It looked like every time you made a play, you would just smile. Even when they tackled you, it looked like you were just having a ball.
That's me just about every time, every opportunity I get. I'm grateful for each and every one. And today it was just, it was fun. Come out with some energy. We came out firing early, and that we liked as a team, and that's ultimately the result we got.
You think your touchdown set the tone, and could you describe that play?
I feel like the tone was already set from the moment we walked in the building. I feel like together we came in with the right mindset, right game plan, and just came in and attacked the day. And me scoring early, it was a confidence booster, and I felt like we just took it.
The screen with McGovern out there with you, just talk about that and just decided him out there getting lined up.
Oh, it's easy running screens behind him. It's very easy. Him on the corner, obviously the corner wouldn't like to see that, but obviously it started off the game. Big play, always exciting, and I congratulate him for the block, and it was huge.
Did this show that last week was sort of a fluke in your mind?
If that's the word you want to use for it, that's fine. But we definitely we won ourselves last week, and it's understood.
How much self last week you talked about
today as opposed to last week? How much better did you feel physically with your ankle this week as opposed to last week?
A lot better. I was able to, cut, kind of just move without thinking about anything, and ultimately everything would just fell into place, and everything worked out.
How much air did Dak put on that second one to you?
A lot. So I had enough to turn around and see the trajectory of the ball, and it was still in there. So I appreciate him for trusting me, and they ran cover 0, and I just had to win on my route. So
how quickly do you pick the ball up when you're coming out of your break to see where it's at?
Just got to look in the air, no matter if I know it's coming to me or not. Just knowing any opportunity is mine, and I'm excited for it.
Before the game, you ran across the uniform police. Did you have a chance to talk about the fire?
I did. I did. I was just like, man, what's up? Like, what do I need to do? But no, it's all great vibes, great dude. We came to an understanding, and hopefully we should not be seeing any more anytime soon.
But they getting confused because you got like a blue undershirt or some sort, and they see that, so they like, you shouldn't see that, or did you talk to them about that?
No, it was kind of just showing skin. They wasn't really much of a fan of it, so just having pretty much my whole body covered was what he was looking for. So, like I said, talking to him pregame kind of made it a lot easier for me to really understand what he's looking for, and we good.
Did you get your arm dinged on that free play, and then they just once the score got in hand, they said, okay, let's take you out?
Most def. It was like a Charlie horse in my arm that kept nagging. So, I guess, yeah, pretty much.
CD, you played it up.
So CeeDee Lamb with another couple touchdown grabs in this one. He's the second player in Cowboys history with 3 multi-touchdown games in his first couple years as a part of the organization. The only other guy to do it was Bullet Bob Hayes, the Hall of Famer. He did it back in, it doesn't even have the year on it, but it's been quite some time since the Cowboys have seen a young receiver like this. What did he mean to this offense early on, and the way that he was able to respond and really set the tone for the Cowboys after a down week in Week 9?
He's a big play guy. Last week they targeted him 9 times. He caught 2 of them. They weren't on the same page, but this week they came out and they displayed him early. But he made a big 37-yard run there after a catch, and he made some big things happen. But I think Isaiah can explain that a little bit.
Oh, of course. He's a former wide receiver.
No, I think CD approached this game on a mission. I think that he felt that they were going to play man-to-man coverage, and I think he was disrespected in that regard. Whenever you feel disrespected, you come out there as a competitor, you want to prove a point, and the point he wanted to prove was that I don't care who you guys put on me, they can't guard me. And you saw that exactly today. He just spoke on a cover 0 route, the cover 0 coverage when he ran the corner route. When he stepped into the line of scrimmage, he knew that ball was coming to him. He knew he needed to win that route. His team was dependent on him. He did that not only on that play, but a bunch of other plays today as well.
Now, there wasn't as much Amari Cooper, but Michael Gallup was back into the fold as well. How big was it getting him back that maybe opened up CeeDee Lamb a little bit?
It's huge. I mean, that's one of the biggest things about Gallup being a part of this trio is that he frees up other guys. Not only can he obviously run great routes and make, obviously contested catches, he can take the top off the coverage, but he also opens things up because now there's another threat that you have to respect. He made some really good catches today that moved the chains. He also had a couple of drops. He'll get his legs underneath him. I'm sure he'll watch the film and want to go back and make sure that he shows up better next week, but he did help us win today.
That's the most impressive thing. When Michael Gallup comes out and makes those small catches, just to move the chains, that's when he's his most dangerous, man. And he came out, like you say, you got to get his legs up on him. Once he does that, man, he'll be ready to roll.
The Cowboys have had numerous fantastic receivers over the course of their organization's history. There's only one that in his first 25 career games has had 1,500 receiving yards and 10-plus receiving touchdowns. That's CeeDee Lamb, the first to do it in Cowboys franchise history. When we come back here on Cowboys OT, we hear about some of the other big plays that were made, some by a couple young guys themselves. How about Nahshon Wright, Dorrance Armstrong on the punt block when we return? Special teams coordinator John Fossil is known for being aggressive, especially when coming after punts. Now, he's had a couple of successful tries at it this year. The Cowboys have gotten their hands on 3 different punts this season. This one finally resulting in a touchdown. Dorrance Armstrong got his hand on it. Nahshon Wright recovered it. Let's hear from both of them after the game.
All right. Well, first of all, tell us about, you knew this week was going to be a big week for you on defense with Randy being out. How excited were you to just get that opportunity?
I've always been ready, man, and I just had to step up. I was dealing with some things off the field that I just had to carry with me today, and he was with me on the field, and I played this game for him, so I was already prepared for it.
You played the game for Randy or for someone?
No, for someone else. Okay. It's something I was dealing with off the field.
Yeah. Talk about on defense, on the way Randy plays that style where you move them around, and that rush up and that sack you had actually came, I think, from over the center. What was it like to kind of freelance like that?
I mean, guys, like you said, Randy can play everywhere. We got a whole D-line that can really do the same thing. So, I mean, it makes things harder for offenses when we got guys in different places doing different things. So that's a good thing that we can do that.
Did y'all play angry today?
For sure. We had to go get we got embarrassed last week, you feel me? So everybody was tuned in, know that we had a mission to accomplish.
Well, how locked in was Dan Quinn? It seems like he always is. But you guys knew this was his former team. Could you tell a little difference with him?
It was personal, you feel me? Like, we knew that Monday. So we just went out there and executed the game for him.
The double thud, it's always a good sound when there's a punt going on. Just talk us through the block punt.
Just gave a little dummy call, got him confused, and came free. That was my first one ever, so I was pretty excited, pretty surprised, but it felt good, man.
How many times people get sacks and a block punt in a game? Probably rare. It shows versatility.
I don't know, man. I've never seen that statistic, so hopefully I can be the first one.
It shows your versatility,
yeah,
though,
for
right?
sure.
To be able to do that. You like playing special teams. You made some plays last year. You can talk about what it's like to kind of contribute on that side.
Man, just being on the field always helps, man. Teams look for that, coaches look for that, and if you can go out there and make plays on any teams, you're good.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm sweating hard as hell, man. Yeah, for a better reason.
Walk us through this play and just see kind of what happened there. What did you see from your perspective?
Well, again, great play by DA, and I was able to see it get blocked, and this time it was behind the line of scrimmage, going towards the end zone. AK jumped on it, and it kind of squirted out from his arms, and I just jumped on it.
You were able to see where the goal line was, kind of get it as it's rolled in?
Oh, yeah, I made sure I got in the end zone.
What was last week like? Obviously you've been talking a lot about the play, and were y'all talking about that in meetings and stuff like that, just kind of hammering home that point?
Yeah, kind of just making sure that I know exactly what I need to do. But like Coach Bones, he encouraged me to continue to try to make plays. So that way, like something like this today, I'm not afraid to go and try to make a play. So it was just great to be out there and be able to make that play today.
Was that your best play on special teams, or you had another one where you went through and ran about 60 yards and made the play down there?
I think that might be up there. It felt good to get in the end zone.
Yeah. When was the last time you scored?
couldn't tell you. High school, probably.
Really?
Oh, no, junior college.
There you go. All right. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's get the guy that blocked.
Wow, so it's been since high school since Nahshon Wright's been in the end zone. Always feels good for a special teamer to find pay dirt. And back here with Barry Church, Isaiah Stanback, you guys both played special teams, so you know just how important of a unit that is. It's the forgotten unit. Well, not so much forgotten today. They made a big-time play and what was an exclamation point on a fantastic first half.
Yeah, that's huge. And this special teams unit has been showing up all year long. I know there's a lot of controversy early on in terms of how much pressure they were adding. We had one big penalty early on in the year where they had a roughing penalty, but these guys have shown up. They've gotten their hands on 3 punt blocks this year, and this was one of them. It was an amazing play. It was a huge momentum swing. Great job by Dorrance Armstrong. Great job by Fossil loading up the personal protector so where he could not get the block on Armstrong, gets the hand in there, avoids him, gets the block, touchdown.
I mean, you love to see it. You love when that phase of the game, special teams comes alive like that. And they've been doing such a great job this entire season, whether it's covering down on kicks, on punts, or whether it's getting this offense in great position by returning. They've been doing a great job. So shouts out to Bones Fossil out there. Dorrance Armstrong did a heck of a job getting skinny through the gap, getting those paws on that ball, getting it back, and such fitting for Wright to go and get the recovery because he made that mistake last week of letting it go over his head and touching it, changing possession, all that jazz. He was able to come back and make a great play today. Hats goes off to that special teams unit.
It really seemed like that recovery was what was meant to be for Nahshon Wright. I mean, it seemed like there was no other person that needed to land on that football more. But is the special teams unit a direct comparison or a direct sign of just how good your depth is as a football program?
It's a direct correlation to it. I mean, absolutely. These guys have to be able to go out there and compete. Obviously, as most of the time, your special teams guys are your second tier, third tier guys. You have to be able to make an impact, and regardless of how they get you on the field, just show up and play.
Yeah, it goes to show you how deep this is because it's not just one guy making plays on special teams. It's a litany of them. It's Dorrance Armstrong. It's Wright. It's C.J. Goodwin on one side. So you love to see it out there. This team is extremely deep, and we're going to need all these players to make a long run in the playoffs this year.
And there was a former core special teamer, Jordan Lewis, who had a fantastic day on defense today. We'll hear from him next after he had an interception and just a great day all around in the 43-3 win over Atlanta. Continuing on here on Cowboys OT, Jordan Lewis had an interception late in the win, but he had already made his mark by that point. A couple big-time plays, couple pass breakups, and 26 seemed like he was all over the field in this one. Here's what he had to say following the win.
Ball guy.
What's going on? How you doing?
Let's talk about the pick party you started.
I mean, Coach talked about, the energy we need to play with and, the standard that we need to play to. And I feel like, we had that going on the first drive and continued on to the rest of the game. So, I mean, it was just playing up to the standard, honestly.
You had a sequence where you had 2 pass breakups and then next possession, get a big tackle. Your thoughts about what you were doing in that sequence there, especially after that first?
I mean, I just took it one play at a time, honestly, and understood that, each play was a different sequence. So you just got to go like that and, just play the game like that in the moment. So, I mean, that's what we did all game, and you saw the results.
Jordan, can you talk about the competitiveness and the camaraderie amongst the secondary group?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's a group full of dogs. I mean, we love playing with each other. We love competing with each other. I mean, you can see from AB to Trayvon to all of us. I mean, we just competing, trying to, against ourselves, trying to get better and dominate.
The defense has gone through a lot of adversity this season with different players getting hurt, and then the next guy's stepping in, and the coordinator DQ matching up their skill set with the plays he's calling. Can you talk about the fact that it seems like you tack on the takeaways, and you guys have taken it to another level? Is the takeaways the key to your success on defense, or something else?
It's the standard. I mean, that's what we're supposed to do. I mean, that's supposed to happen. We're supposed to take the ball away, fly around on defense, and play how we did today. I mean, that's what we got. That's what we, plan to do in the beginning of the season. I mean, in the March, OTAs, we were just going out there and flying around and understanding that we was building something special. And I mean, I feel like we going that way.
After the game, there seemed to be a little chirping going on. Mr. Gage, and then what happened? What's going on with that?
I mean, it was just competitive. I remember what happened last year. I mean, coming off injury. I mean, it was just, it was my pride, honestly. And, I just go out there and understand that every play, he gonna get my best. And I mean, that's what it was.
Someone else was yelling at you as you were going through the tunnel. I think Rob was just waving the guy saying, get in there.
I mean, we had the game won. So, I mean, that's just me being a competitor, honestly.
Jordan, today everything went well offensively, defensively, special teams. Last week you guys had a block punt that you ended up not getting because of the way it was touched. Today it turns into a touchdown. How big of a play was that? I mean, you guys were already in a big lead, but right before halftime to get that.
I mean, it was huge. I mean, Coach Bones and Coach Hack, I mean, they're ultra aggressive. I mean, they, like I said, that's the way we play. And he won't back down, and he's always going to call his shots. And you saw that today. I mean, it's gonna happen every week. And I mean, those guys are so amazing. I mean, we got guys on special team that do the job, you know, better than anybody, you know, in the league. So it's a good thing to see.
How
Did
big was that for
something
Nashon?
to it that it was Nashon? That it was Nashon?
I mean, it's always we talk about our group. We want to be a special group. I mean, special teams. Whenever we're out there on the field, the DBs need to go out there and represent, you know, what we stand for. I mean, I was happy for him.
Yeah, especially after last week, though. I mean, he touched the ball not knowing that it would give the ball back to Denver.
I mean, like he just, like we say, stay in the moment. He stayed in the moment. He made the play. He wasn't worried about last week. He was just worried about making the play.
Micah said it probably wasn't a big deal for Coach Quinn to beat Atlanta, but you guys playing for him, did it mean a lot for you guys to do that for him?
I mean, anytime you go out there and dominate like that, I mean, it feels good, especially the way DQ, you know, believes in us and, you know, he loves us. I mean, anytime you go out there and have a performance, I mean, it doesn't matter who we play. I mean, it feels good. You know, I'm happy for him, and, you know, I'm glad that he's our coordinator.
Because of what happened last week, you guys come out here and as it was already alluded to, offensively, defensively, special teams, you dominated this football game. What statement did you guys make as a team today?
This is what we do. This is our standard. I mean, this is how we play, and this is how we're supposed to play. It doesn't matter who's out there lined up. I mean, we're going to go out there and compete.
Thanks, guys.
What a day it was for Jordan Lewis and that entire Cowboys defense. How big was he? And, I mean, going into the game, it seemed like he was the one that had a lot of pressure on him because of Kyle Pitts, because of Russell Gage, and the matchups that he was faced with, and he definitely responded.
Yeah, he definitely responded out there. They tried him a couple of times with Patterson, with Pitts out there as well, and he was able to stand up to the challenge. He went out there, had 3 pass breakups. One of them happened to be an interception. And when a secondary as a whole goes out there and plays the way that they were able to tonight or today, I mean, the sky's the limit for this defense, especially when they get those pass rushers back. If they're able to lock down on the back end right there, it could be something special brewing over there on the defensive side of the ball.
We were all trying to figure out exactly what their approach was going to be to try to figure out who was going to guard Patterson, who was going to guard Pitts. And then the last person I would have assumed would have had to guard Pitts would have been Jay Lou. He's not our biggest defensive back, but he did a great job. After that first quarter, Pitts had a couple catches there and got some yardage. After that, he downloaded that software and he knew exactly where Pitts was going to be. He stayed in his hip pocket and he became a pest. And that's the best thing that could have ever happened for this defense today was Jordan Lewis being on the field guarding Pitts.
Barry, you mentioned it in the opening segment. Without Randy Gregory, of course, no DeMarcus Lawrence still on that defensive line. You needed collective defensive guys to step up. Yes, the defensive linemen needed to step up to get pressure, but the coverage from Jordan Lewis today was a huge key in really setting the tone defensively early, and the Cowboys took that and ran with it as they went into a 36-3 lead by the time halftime had struck. When we come back, we'll tie a bow on this one. 43-3, the Cowboys win it over the Falcons with more Cowboys OT on the way.
Cowboys OT was brought to you by GEICO, 85 years of savings and service. And by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full and condensed game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl.
The Cowboys needed to get back in the win column, and they did so in a very big way. 43-3, the final score over the Atlanta Falcons. Dan Quinn gets his revenge. The Cowboys get their 7th win of the season, already surpassing the 2020 total here in Week 10 of the NFL season. One final time with Barry Church, Nate Newton, Isaiah Stanback, and Kyle Yeomans wrapping things up on Cowboys OT. What are your final thoughts, Isaiah, on the win?
Happy that these guys have this character game. They needed this. They needed today to remind themselves exactly who they are and who they're going to be going forward as they try to make a push towards the playoffs.
I agree 100%. This is coming into the Turkey Feast week, but so many days, we got 3 games to do it. Great victory today.
Yeah, it was a great bounce-back game, great turnaround game for this team in all three phases, offensively, defensively, special teams as well. They all came to play and contributed to a win for this Dallas Cowboys team. Hopefully they can keep that momentum going forward against Kansas City next week. We'll see, but this was a great team victory overall.
One of the toughest stretches of the Cowboys schedule here in 2021. Of course, like you said, you've got 3 games in 11 days. In a couple of those games, Kansas City, Las Vegas on Thanksgiving, and then you go on the road to play New Orleans. Lots of fun still to be had this season. We had a lot of fun today. For Barry, for Nate, for Isaiah, I'm Kyle Yoma saying so long. Thanks for joining us here on this week's edition of Cowboys OT.